Hello? Oh, hey, what's up? My name's Chris. Welcome to my channel, dudes. Welcome to my channel. This is a technology-based channel. I want you to look and learn. Learn everything you can. Do your best. The Lord loves you and so do I. Peace out. Cue the intro. Hello everyone, it's Chris again. Welcome back to this channel. My channel is, I'm doing a lot of videos here lately. This video here is Intro to Networks, Part 3, the switch. So what does a switch do? That's the question. So many of you may not know what a switch is or what it does, but a switch is basically a connecting device. It connects a bunch of devices together on a network so that you have connectivity between each device so they can communicate with each other. And also, it's also a way to allow them to connect simultaneously. So I'm going to get into this. Welcome. So here we go. Let's get started on this. So this is Cisco's website here that you see. So this is what Cisco defines. Now Cisco is, if none of you know, is like probably the biggest network company in the world. They are humongous. They do all kinds of stuff. So it says that they're the key building blocks for any network. They connect multiple devices, computers, wireless access points, printers, and servers. Right? So that's exactly what I said. On the same network within a building or campus. A switch enables connected devices to share information and talk to each other, which is exactly what I just said. So I wanted to look at this picture here. Okay, so let's check this picture out. So if you notice, we hadn't went over really this yet. Well, kind of we have, but not really. Went over untangle. The next step is the switch. I have a Dell switch. I actually have 3 switches, but well, I have 2 technically. I have 2 switches. I have a Ubiquiti 16-port switch, and I have a Dell 48-port. The Dell 48-port switch is what you're seeing right here. So basically what happens is the Dell switch, so if you notice the Untangle firewall, it has one interface that comes out. And by interface, I mean Ethernet port. The Ethernet port comes out. That's what hooks to the LAN. So basically what you're doing is you have one connection going to the Untangle box, to the firewall, but then you have 48 connections on the other end. So you have 48 ports on the switch, and you have one of those ports is going to connect directly to the firewall, and all the communication for the entire network will go through that one connection. I know it sounds kind of crazy, huh? But trust me, it works very well. I have all this stuff running and I have no issues. None. My communication, everything is perfectly good. Everything works good. So if you notice here, we'll get into APs later, but basically these APs connect in. That gives you another however many, I think it's 200 devices will connect to each of my access points. So that gives you an unlimited number, well, basically pretty much an unlimited number of devices that you can connect on top of everything that's plugged directly into the switch. Like the desktops here. The desktops here are, see right here, all of these right here. Those 3 there are all connected back to the switch through an Ethernet port, okay? Are y'all with me so far? Good. Okay. Let's move on. Now, so here's basically how it works. You have the reason that we have switches is because of something called a hub. Okay, a hub is interesting because, let's go back to our thing here. I think, yeah, so right here. So Cisco mentions hubs. Hubs are really old school. So what would happen, imagine this, you're on the telephone, right? A telephone will talk to multiple people at the same time, but you don't have to. That's basically what a switch is. Basically a megaphone would be what a hub is. A megaphone, when you talk through it, talks to a bunch of people at one time. But on a hub, you can only have, on a hub, it essentially, when a device wants to communicate or something's coming in, it will send it to every port on the hub. And it'll constantly communicate that way. Whereas a switch will keep track of the MAC address in what's called a CAM table, but we won't get into that right now. We're just doing a basic overview of what a switch is. And what happens is that communication will happen individually with each individual device, right? So let's say for instance on this picture right here, let's go back to my picture. So what I have happen, this server here is my VMware server, right? Okay, it's connected directly to my switch through 6 ports. I have 6 ports in my server connecting to that switch. The reason I do that is so I have multiple paths of communication, so that if I need speed or if I need to utilize every single piece of that, I can. Now my plan later is to upgrade to fiber, and we won't get into that right now. But that's basically going to be my plan eventually, is to have a 10 gig fiber connection for my internal network so that things are really snappy and fast. I mean, right now I have no trouble. It works just fine, but that's the plan later, is to upgrade everything to fiber. But for now, that's what I have. Once everything gets going good and I learn a lot more. So essentially what happens is, let's say that I want to send, let's say this top left computer is my machine, my computer, and I want to send information to this server. Well, first, I had to create a connection to this server. I use TrueNAS, like I've said in previous videos. TrueNAS is what I use. It's a virtual machine, and I think I've got 1.5 terabytes. That's where I store all my YouTube videos and stuff. So basically what happens is you communicate from this computer. It goes down into the switch, and it says, oh, I know what port this is plugged into, which would be 6 ports, so it's not that hard for it to find it. But there's one IP address for this thing. In VMware, I have 4 ports utilized for the NAS. So 4 of those ports are utilized just for my NAS box. And the other 2 are used for, what was the other one I'm running? Whatever the other one I'm running is. I don't really know right now. I can't remember exactly, but the TrueNAS is the big one that I'm using. Oh, Windows 10. I'm using it for my wireless controller, or my Unify controller. So basically that's how a switch works. A switch is much faster because it can send and receive at the same time. Not only can it do that, but some of them are layer 3, which we're not even going to get into that right now, but it's basically the routing layer. That's where all the routing happens, which is what this box right here does. So Untangle has 1 port coming out. That's also another thing I want to change too. I want to get a multiple port NIC to go in there so it has multiple means to get into the firewall. Now, mind you, I only have 500 meg out, but in and out, I have 500 meg, which is good. But basically, that's what a switch does. A switch is just a means to take the packets and move them from one place to another. It also allows multiple connections on a network, right? Multiple connections to multiple devices at the same time. That's the advantage of a switch. Now, I'll go over one more thing. You have a router, which a router will actually sometimes have a switch built in. Mine is not like that. Mine doesn't do that. Mine has 1 port in, 1 port out. That's it. If like your wireless router you get from your internet service provider like Allo or Charter or Windstream or CenturyLink, whoever it is, you'll notice sometimes there'll be 4 yellow ports on the back. Those 4 yellow ports, that is a switch. That is a switch. But my switch just allows a lot more devices to be connected, and I can connect VLANs, which is Virtual Local Area Network, which we talked about LANs in the beginning on the first video. But the VLAN basically is a way to divide the traffic up even more into separate networks so they don't communicate with each other. But basically that's what a switch is. Y'all, that's the end of the video. Peace out. I love you, and so does the Lord. Till the next one.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.